All right, everybody. So the Texas Longhorns are going to be facing off against Kansas State. The Kansas State Wildcats inside DKR at 11 a.m. Now it is a sold-out matchup. Another sold-out match inside DKR. Love to see the fans packing the stands. This is going to be a big game for fans. Fans, we're going to need y'all in the stands. Make your presence felt. It'll absolutely be a big deal in this game versus Kansas State. You got big noon kickoff coming in. Fox Sports, you got Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt on the call. One of the last times we'll get to hear them with the move to the SEC. ESPN is going to take a majority of the primetime games after this season. So, this should be a fun day for college football, and then also great football weather. It should be sunny all day long. The game time is going to start off around 63 degrees, move up around 10 degrees, mid 70s around there towards the end of the game. So probably want to pack a coat just in case. Definitely for tailgating. Tailgating is going to be the 50s. So if you show up early, yes, you're going to want a coat. But something else you're going to want to do is drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then comment down below your thoughts on this video. I'm probably going to sound like a negative Nancy here, okay? I know. Look, we're all smiles right now. Time to get into business, okay? Time to get into business. There's not a lot. There's a lot of bad stuff that we need to talk about. But there are some good things that we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about that at the end. So, again, comment down below your thoughts on all this negativity that I'm saying. And real quick, before I hop into the football, Texas baseball is back, baby. We got the Fall World Series going on. Hispanic Titanic is going into be a AA home run derby going on. Cannot wait to see how he does in that. And, yeah, Texas baseball. I'm going to be heading down here in just a few minutes to go see the Fall World Series. I cannot wait. Season tickets are renewed. Yes. Great time of year. But even better reason why it's a great time of year, you got football, and football is meaningful. Football is meaningful. This game is going to matter a lot. And something that really we need to talk about, everybody's been talking about it, is the red zone. And, well, how bad is the red zone, okay? And we are just diving right on into this. There's no foreplay. There's no pre-warming up, anything like that. Boom, right on into it. 2023 Texas Longhorns rushing offense situational stats. Now that's the line that you want to look for. You want to see this. You want to see this highlighted line right here, okay? What this is our rushing offense. And if you look, our own 1 to 20 yard line, 3.8 yards. Not bad. Not bad. Considering you're backed up. Obviously, you'd love it higher, but not bad. 6.67 yards after that. Woo-wee! You're getting some yardage now. 5.39, okay, less yardage. 4.59, okay, a little bit less yardage again. But ultimately, there's nothing really there. But then 1.97, holy crap. What is going on? And when you look at it, right, if you were to go and you were to add up the rest of the yardage, okay, outside the red zone, we have 1,322 rushing yards. Divide by 244 attempts. Outside the red zone, we're rushing for 5.4 yards per carry. And then we get in the red zone, it's 1.97. Okay, well, okay, you know what? Maybe it's the case that when you get into the red zone, that you're just not gonna you're not gonna do well, right? Because there's less room to run. So obviously the yards per carry goes down, right? Well, let's take a look. Let's look at some of the other great rushing offenses that we have in college football this year. Opponent 20 to 1 yard, the red zone. We'll just call it the red zone, okay? Pretty similar. Well, that's not similar. That is an anomaly, okay? They're the best rushing offense in college football for a good reason. 4.89. Okay. Well, I did just mention they're the best rushing offense in college football, so maybe it's something different. Maybe we go. Oh, by the way, this is Kansas State, by the way. Kansas State, yes. This is the Kansas State that we're going to be playing against this weekend. Fairly consistent in the rest of the field, but goes down a little bit, 3.48. But if you look at something, I mean, those numbers aren't far off from Texas. There's a little bit of a difference, not far off. But when you go and look at Look at the red zone touchdowns. 21 of their 23 rushing touchdowns are in the red zone. So that's something that's something to take note of for when we're talking about good things that are going to be. I said we got some good things to talk about. Little hint right there. That's a good thing to talk about. Where there's something that maybe goes towards Texas' way. Okay. Again, 3.46. Look, this is you would be correct in the fact that when you have less yards, you're going to have a lower yards per carry, right? When you only have at a max, like we're talking at best, when you're in the red zone, the best that you can have is a 20-yard run. You're going to have your yards per carry go down. It should not be 1.97. It should not be 1.97, especially when you're going down from a 5.4 yards per carry outside of everything else. Okay? Well, what about the passing? Surely the passing has to be different, right? Nope, we're talking about just more red zone issues. And I know this video is turned on. It's a Kansas State preview, but it's starting out as a red zone issue video. This is going to be a long video. Buckle in. I'll say the completion percentage, I'm not worried about that, okay? You see it with some other teams. We're going to look at some top offenses just like we did with the rushing. But the yards per attempt is just 3.91. That's just pitiful. That is just, it's absolutely pitiful. When you go and you look at other top offenses, okay? LSU Tigers are a great passing offense this year. Pretty, like I said with the completion percentage, a similar drop-off that you see with Texas, okay? But you actually see the yards per attempt, 4.57. Now, it is a little bit similar to Texas. This is one situation where you could say, you know what? The passing game, it's not that bad, right? But I think the inability to run the football successfully inside the red zone compounds and starts to affect the passing game. And you're starting to see it here. Okay, another top offense in the red zone. You look at this, and also look at the amount of touchdowns that are in the red zone. This is something that we need to take note of. The top teams in college football are very good in the red zone. And not just very good, but they're almost reliant on these red zone scores. Texas is the exact opposite. If Texas is able to figure out the red zone issues and start scoring in the red zone consistently, this is going to be it is going to be a tough team for anybody to beat in college football. And just so you know, the yards per attempt for this one is 5.17. Okay, and then right here, Michigan. Just now, look, sign steal on the side, absolute machine. 6.9 yards per attempt inside the red zone, and again, majority of these you look at this, touchdowns all in the red zone. Texas not. Yeah, we do have six touchdowns, but you look at this. I mean, these other offenses, they're doubling. Now, okay, look, LSU, they got 9 touches right next to the red zone, but you can see outside the red zone, it's not even close, right? The closer you get, the more frequently you score. Well, with Texas, it's like it's not changing that much. It's not changing that much. And then also, I mean, we do have a lot of, to be fair, on offense, a majority of our rushing touchdowns do come within the red zone. So, and to be fair, that is the case with the rushing offense. But at the end of the day, these red zone issues, they will come up to bite us if we do not fix these things, okay? And so you might have heard that Kansas State has a pretty good red zone team. We're going to be looking at all the matchups, how the numbers match up and all that. Kansas State has had a pretty good rush defense when you, not just when you get inside the 39. When you get past that 40, man, their rush defense really starts to stout up. So this is going to be something to watch. Now, you also have the situational pass defense. I mean, look, this is going to be a tough team to score on in the red zone. Okay? But at the end, not just that, this is a team that they've been playing a lot of good football. Okay? Look at the passing defense. In October, the month of October, down to 54.7% completion percentage, 818 yards. That's 5.1 yards per attempt. That's down 2.7 yards per attempt from the previous month. But what you really want to pay attention to is 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions. And I believe, let me just go ahead and we'll go ahead and check together real quick. Okay, so no, Missouri was, to be fair, for Missouri. That game wasn't actually here, we'll just do this. So that, we'll look at the Power 5. Okay. Versus FBS Power 5, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 6.5 yards per attempt, 56.3% completion percentage. I mean, look, they got a good passing defense. And not just passing that was rushing defense. Was that rushing defense? No, I got passing defense twice. Whoops. All right. Oh no. Okay, here we go. Found it. Found our way. All right. Now FBS Power 5 rushing. I'm still in the passing offense. Hang with me. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. All right. Now October rushing defense. Look. I mentioned there's some good, baby. I mentioned there's some good. The good is there is success to be had against this Kansas State defense. Okay, lately, and you look, it is not like a case. If you've heard me say this with other statistical categories, you're gonna be talking about, hey, sample size, baby. Sample size matters. Well, look at the sample size. You're talking about almost the exact same number right here. 116 attempts in August, September in 4 games versus 118 attempts in October in 4 games. They're giving up double the rush. They're giving up double. They went from 73.25 yards per game for opponents to 145.5 in October. When you're facing Jonathan Brooks, and give me one. When you're facing this man, those are suboptimal numbers to be having when you're facing up against a running back of the caliber that Jonathan Brooks is. Now, oh my goodness, I just did the unthinkable. Now, so here's the deal, okay? A lot of that is due to a guy by the name of Ollie Gordon, who is the best running back in college football right now. Full clarity. But Jonathan Brooks isn't that far behind him. Not at all. And this is a game for Jonathan Brooks to say, hey, whoa, Ollie Gordon, you've been having some great weeks. Got to remember my name too. So this is an opportunity for Jonathan Brooks to restake his claim as the best running back in college football. Ollie Gordon, I believe he had 138 yards rushing against him versus Kansas State. So we'll be moving on into the matchup stats now here. Now, so I mean, obviously, just starting off, it's just this is going to be such a great matchup. You got the number 6 red zone scoring defense in Texas going up against the number 12 red zone scoring offense. And here's the deal: when you talk about touchdowns, okay, these numbers for both teams get better. This is the number 2 scoring offense in college football as far as touchdowns inside the red zone versus the number 2 defense as far as not allowing touchdowns in the red zone goes in Texas. So this is literally going to be brute strength versus brute strength going up against each other all day long. Third down conversions. Number 3, they're the number 3 offense in the nation as far as third downs go. Texas number 3 as far as third downs go on the opposite side. At times it does not feel like that, I will not lie. And what's crazy is this is a number. This number includes us playing 8 yards off the ball on 3rd and 2. Crazy thought right there. Yards per play, just top offense in the nation. And when I say top offense, they're really good, not amazing, but at the end of when you're talking about efficiency, still this is an opponent you got to watch out for. Anything above top 4, you really like. That's going to be a very good football team in college football. It's just, I'm not going to keep on reiterating it. It's just all over the place, okay? And then you go to the defensive side for Kansas State, and then offensive side for Texas. It's a little bit different. A little bit different. There's the red zone success for Texas. It has not been there. And unfortunately for Texas, it's not going to be an easy week. There's no easy days here. You have Kansas State. Now I'm going off of, okay, we'll actually sort this by touchdown percentage to make Texas number 2 and Kansas State number 3. But Kansas State, they got one heck of a red zone defense, one of the best, top 3 in the nation. So Texas, you'd love for Texas to start scoring some points. And for those that, if you just want to know, 83rd in the nation. Yeah, touchdown percentage, and that's just touchdown scored. When you go to the percent of touchdown scored, 124, it's not good. Texas, it needs to be stepped up. There's a reason why people have been harping on it and talking about it a lot recently. Third down conversions, another thing. Look, this is a really good third down defense, and we haven't been a good third down offense. We've been all right, but we haven't been good. Everything else, look, Texas is going to be. This is going to be a fun. I can't keep saying it. It's going to be such a fun matchup. Texas offense versus Kansas State defense, and then the Kansas State offense versus Texas defense. Like efficiency wise, all that stuff, it's really exciting. But there's 2 key areas that this matters, and you might be able to see it on the screen right here. Okay, for Kansas State on offense, them winning the game hinges on this. They're gonna have to have success running the football against a team that has success stopping teams from running the football. And we haven't just played some bums either. So this is a legit Texas run defense. You got guys like T'Vondre Sweat, Byron Murphy, who are just playing out of their minds right now. T'Vondre Sweat, good Lord, that dude might actually be going in the first round of the NFL draft. That is a big man. Okay, but then you want to go to where's Texas need the key for Texas offense is the passing game. Kansas State is a good passing defense, 6.4 yards per opponent yards per pass, and then so that's yards per attempt, and then 56.5% completion percentage, opponent completion percentage allowed. That's number 20 in the nation. They don't allow a lot of complete passes. Now, Texas does complete the ball at a high rate, 69%. Get the laughs out now. Yeah, it's just these 2 areas right here. That area and that area. Massive critical areas of the game. And it's going to be big here, okay? I don't want to just sit here and ignore the Texas run offense versus the Kansas State rushing defense, because like I said earlier, when you go and you look at, did I get rid of it? I got rid of it. But when you go and you look at how, wait, I did not get rid of it. When you look at how they've been doing against the rush defense, I got to keep saying it, man. This is not the week that you want this to be happening when you're playing against Jonathan Brooks. It's just not. That's not what you want. Now, so, very similar in the turnover margin. This is just, I can show you stat after stat after stat. It's strength on strength. This is going to be such a fun game, like, as a football fan. Should be a great game to watch. Should be a fun game to watch. It honestly it should be a pretty close game. By all means, should be a pretty close game. Now, something that really shows us is this is a graphic made by Stats War. So that's Stats O War on Twitter. Parker Fleming does some great stuff every week. He puts out these graphics. I mean, you look, the efficiency So when you're talking about expected points added per pass, Texas on defense is one of the top in the nation. Expected points added per rush, one of the top in the nation on rush defense. Same thing. Like, I mean, it's just, this is such a good matchup, number wise. It really, like, this is just going to be such a good game. I can't run away from saying that. And then you go and you look at also what this means, not just for Texas but for Kansas State. Literally, not college football playoff, but the Big 12 championship game is on the line here. Winner of this game likely makes it to the Big 12 championship. So this is almost like a playoff game. Like a play into the Big 12 championship game. This is there's 5 teams at a 4-1 record right now in the Big 12. And look, Texas and Kansas State are 2 of those teams, and both teams are going to be looking to, win the football game and make it to the Big 12 championship. So I cannot get away from this. This should be a great game to watch. Fun game. Joel Klatt, Gus Johnson on the call. Absolutely love it. So we're about to hop right on into our predictions right here. So let's go ahead and do that. And yeah, let's go on. All right, and just like we do every single week, we're going to go through and make some underdog selections. Now, if you want to go ahead and do this, use code NASH for your first dollar for dollar deposit to be matched on underdog up to $100, a minimum of $10. So you deposit $10, use code NASH, you're going to get $20 in your account. You deposit $100, use code NASH, you're going to get $200, $50, $100, so on and so forth. Get the double the money. Use code NASH for your first dollar for dollar deposit. And yeah, that's one of the best ways to support me and support this channel. But so look, we're going to go right on into the predictions and try and pick a slip that's going to win. Now, like I've been telling y'all, I'm doing these 5-player slips. Don't do these 5-player slips. Like they don't hit often, okay? When you talk about especially like the 5-player slip, they are kind of harder to hit. And to kind of show why you want to do that, so you see this, like, look, these are all the college football picks. It's kind of, the camera's not adjusting to it, but you see most of these, I'm getting 3 right. Now, look, some of these it's hard to tell, but some of these are the spicy ones. There's a little spicy symbol. Look, the spicy ones, that's known going into it. If this hits, if 2 or 3 of these hits, woohoo! Yeah, it's spicy for a reason, right? But you typically want to select 3 to 4 of the ones that you think are the best ones that are going to hammer you home the most. Like the ones that you book it, level ones. So I don't necessarily recommend doing the 4 or I'm doing 5 every single time. But that being said, again, use code NASH and I really appreciate it. So let's just hop right on into this. So we're going to start off with Will Howard. What do I have Will Howard at? And I have been pretty accurate on these individual player props for the most part. Like even, hey, the stuff that I just showed you is actually pretty accurate. Okay, to have 4 out of 5 multiple weeks, that was this close to hitting some real big bucks in return. Will Howard, man, I'm curious about how much he's going to play, but something that has me. You want to talk about me and Vegas agreeing, okay? Because we're just going to call underdog and all the money Vegas. Because these lines right here, these are determined by real money. So if it's at 160 passing yards and people think that he's going to go higher, they're going to hammer the higher, and that number's going to go up. What did I have? What did I have Will Howard passing? I had him passing 175 yards in my prediction. I'm not touching that line at all. half a yard off of what Vegas thinks Will Howard will do. I'm not going to touch that, like I said. Now, you go on, and you got some of their Kansas State players. We're going to we'll touch back on those guys. But we'll start off with Malik Murphy, okay? Malik Murphy. Look, me and every single one of my hosts, we both agree this is going to be a higher number. I think that, like I was saying earlier, this is going to be a key part of the game for Malik Murphy and the Texas offense to beat Kansas State is the passing game. And I think Xavier Worthy is not only going to have more. We can only choose one line. I'm going 54.5 yards higher than that. Look, I understand. You go and you look at his receptions. He's done it twice out of the last 3 weeks. Last week was not any inspiring. 10 targets, only 4 receptions. He dropped a couple. I think that this is almost like this would be one of my locks. Okay, if you were to pick one of 3, and now granted this is probably not going to happen, but I have Worthy going for 120 yards on 9 receptions in my prediction. Jonathan Brooks, look, 103.5 rushing yards. I know that's a high number, but it's a high number for the respect that he has. But anytime that I can, I'm going to combine these with a reception because you never know. You could just get one of those halfback slip screens that goes for 40, 60 yards. And look, if Jonathan Brooks has 103 rushing yards, great day on the ground versus his Kansas State rush defense. You're still losing out on this one up here. So, any reception that would put you above 100, it doesn't matter. Rushing, receiving, whatever the yardage is, as long as it's above 126.5 rushing yards, you're going to pass on that one. Now, okay, yeah, no, I had a little brain fart. I was like, we already did Xavier Worthy. Adonai Mitchell. Is that spicy? Is that spicy? I don't think it's that spicy. Adonai Mitchell is just an absolute red zone weapon, but I'm going to take it off. We're going to save that for a spicy one. And also, I think that there's a chance that Adonai Mitchell has a lot more respect than normal because he is like, you want to talk about our red zone offense being bad. It's in no part to Adonai Mitchell for the red zone offense struggles. Adonai Mitchell is certainly contributing red zone wise. Now, really what it comes down to is I don't know how much Will Howard is going to play. He's limited as a passer. I really don't want to take the line that is 175, but I'm going to. I'm going to go ahead and go lower. And the reason why I'm doing that is because look. Avery Johnson, you never know. If Texas is winning how I think that we're going to, you're going to hear my final score prediction in just a minute. If the game goes how I think it might go, how I got the gut feeling that's going to go, yeah, Will Howard, he's going to be out of the game. Avery Johnson is going to get some looks. He's going to get some work. And, yeah, that's just about the end of the story on that one. And then we're going spicy picks. So, look, we're just, at this point, it's just hammering everything with the spice in it. Okay? Oh, wait, hold on. Now, okay, no, this actually, I'm not going to lie. Look, of all the spices that I've ever put in, Brooks, I think, will score a touchdown. So, yeah, sure. C.J. Baxter could very well easily score a touchdown, 100%. You look at this, only 1 touchdown in the last 3 games, but it can happen. Xavier Worthy hasn't had the same thing, but it's not like he hadn't had the looks. Adonai Mitchell, I've already talked about Adonai Mitchell. This dude is an absolute weapon in the red zone. And then Jatavian Sanders has not had a touchdown, but you know what? That end zone will be awfully welcoming for Jatavian Sanders. And this is 5 correct pays up to $500 because you got the spices, you got the chili peppers on the line. You add higher 1.5x, 1.25x, blah 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 blah. We're gonna submit it, put it in. Yeah, Look, I don't recommend doing those. Okay, but at the end of the day, of all the ones that I would have ever felt the most confident in, this week is probably one of them. So, on to the final score prediction. What was my wild prediction from? What was my wild prediction? Okay, my wild prediction is that Texas is going to win by 3 scores. We're going to beat Kansas State by 3 scores, and we're going to win 41-24. Should be a decisive victory for the University of Texas. I was this close to predicting a loss. Yes, Nash, 12-0 Nash was going to predict a loss. After we lost to Oklahoma, are you any loss of confidence the rest of the season? No, not at all. Yes, I was about to predict a loss, but I don't know. I got a warm fuzzy feeling in my gut that the Texas Longhorns are not only going to walk away with a victory, but we're going to walk away with a decisive one. And yeah, it should be fun to watch. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. And hook 'em!